So what's up, YouTube? It's Kimbo, and although there's no new Legend of Korra episode, so sad about it, so sad. I still wanted to make a video. At first, it was going to be a video of my top 10 favorite Avatar episodes and me explaining why, but after trying to figure out which episodes were my favorite, I kind of got a brain freeze and kind of started to have a headache because it's impossible to do. So instead I came up with another idea. I feel like we need to have a talk. It seems like it's a good time. And the talk is, are you a bender or are you an equalist? And when I found out that the show was going to have this angle, when I first found out, of course, there was only one way, and there was only one way for me to pick sides, but that's when it started. And I've made my position in other episodes of my other videos, and but it could have changed. So you will find out at the end of the video. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and talk about both the equalists and the benders, and a couple pros and a couple cons of both. I'm going to go ahead and start with the equalists. A pro about the equalists is they are very clever, they are very calculated, and they get stuff done. Also, unlike the villains in the first series, they are not killing people. At least not. We haven't seen or heard about any fatalities with a bender facing an equalist. So that's the plus. It's not going to be the Fire Nation, creating genocide with a race of people or a type of people. And it's also easy to sympathize with what they're saying. Some of the benders in the world are kind of evil and manipulative, and it's not good. But the problems that I have, it's easy to sympathize with that. But their leader, Amon, I'm not okay with the leader that tells and doesn't show. If there's no show and tell, I cannot get behind you. And clearly he's the villain of the story, so it would be like secretly rooting. But I can't even do that because he's not giving me enough to go on. So that would be a negative. And then also when he raids the pro bending arena, he blows it up. He blows up the ring, and that could have hurt anyone in there. Unlike when there was the chi blocker raid, they were all chi blockers. They're all associated with Amon, so that was different. It was terrible, but it was different. He attacked an arena that had spectators in it. That was bad. So that is a negative. And then just the shadowy persona of the way that they operate, and framing Cabbage Corp, it's just terrible. So I've actually put together a little diagram of what I think is going to happen with the equalist and how the outcome is really what is going to happen once the war starts, because it's going to be a war. Now, of course, Amon has made it very clear that he does not like benders. So this diagram, the A represents Amon. This represents a bender. This represents a bender that's gotten his powers taken away, or her powers taken away from Amon. This represents the droids, and this is chi blockers. So Amon doesn't like benders. He's made that very clear. So him and his chi blockers, they're in a room with a couple benders, and the chi blockers have stopped them from bending. So Amon takes their bending away. They're still alive. They are able to live another day. That's a plus. But they're sad. And the only thing with taking someone's bending away, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make them less of a volatile human being. It's not going to change their ways. They might not be able to throw fire or water or earth or wind at you, but they can still be very vengeful. A good example is the Blue Spirit. Zuko didn't use fire when he was the Blue Spirit, and he kicked butt a couple times. So what's going to happen is the benders are going to get mad. The now non-benders are going to get mad. They're going to have rage flowing out of them, and they're going to want to rally. They're going to be like, you know what, I didn't do nothing to this guy. If I did, I didn't know I did it. So they're going to contact the benders. So the non-benders that used to be benders and the benders are going to rally. The benders are going to have, more controlled rage, but these people are still going to be like, we need to do something. Okay, so they're definitely going to attack Amon. And then with any good strategist, when you have a war, you have a frontline defense, and then you have your big guns, you save them for last, you save your surprises for last, and so I'm guessing Amon's first line of defense is going to be his chi blockers. So we're going to have the attackers, and the first line of defense is going to be the chi blockers and the people with the taser gloves, and then he's going to be hiding out over here with the droids and waiting for, basically, if they break this line, then this is going to be the next line of defense. And so let's say they do, and the chi blockers fall back, or there's some kind of big problem, with the red there. It's not really signifying death. I don't want anybody to die. But let's say they break through this. This is the next line of defense. Any good strategist is going to leave their big guns for the last battle, for the climax. So we're going to have non-benders and benders, people that used to be benders, but Amon has made them non-benders. And in the war, you're not going to care who you're attacking. Whoever's running up and is not on your team is going to be basically fired upon. So what we're going to have is the benders are going to fare a little better against the droids, but we're going to have non-benders there who are now currently not equal to the odds that they've been put in. So that is my problem with the Equalist. If they just want to take people's bending away, that's fine. Find a legal way to do it if someone commits a crime. But this way is going to make people vengeful. It's going to make people rage, and it's going to cause problems. And then once it comes to the battle, some of the people are not going to be equal with the people that took away their bending. So that's my take on that. Now let me go ahead and talk about the benders, which the benders need to improve their track record. We have a common thread of a firebender taking people's family. I'm guessing it's the same firebender. If it's not, we need a name. Mike and Brian, we need some names. But let's. I'm sorry. I went into the negative with the benders. Let's start with the positive. The benders built this Republic City. This is a city built by benders. It was an idea by a bender, the bender of benders, the Avatar. And, they currently are helping it to run. There's lightning benders supplying electricity. Bending is the coolest thing in the world. But, history has served that benders have committed genocide against people that did not bend the same element, jerk bending, and caused wars, had the world kind of in a state of heightened badness for 100 years. Just not good. And benders, they need to improve their track record. So what I'm going to say about the bending, though, is if these people were going to something, a deity, if they were looking up, in Avatar directory, the god of bending or the spirit of bending, give me fire, give me water, then, okay, take it away, do it by any means necessary if they're going to get the power and use it for evil. These people are born with this ability. This is something that they do not have control over. They can't say, oh, I don't want to be a bender. They cannot bend, but that's just like asking somebody not to breathe, really. Like, if it's a part of them, they're going to do it. Some of their actions, like, if one day they just wake up and they're like, yawn, and a rock moves, like, they can't prevent that. So, ultimately, equality, in order for it to be achieved, everyone has to accept each other for what they are born with. Amon sees the bending as an affliction. The bender see it as something that they were born with. A gift, really, is basically, a telekinetic ability over a certain element, and they think it's cool. So equality means that the non-benders and the benders have to come to a consensus, or it's just going to become a war, like I did with my diagram. I'm sorry, I don't have a cool diagram or a bad diagram for the benders, but this is what's going to happen. We're going to have people that are going to be mad because Amon took their bending away, something that they were born with, something that they choose to do wrong with, they do it, but only attack the ones that are doing wrong. The ones that don't have anything to do with you, like, I would just remember Bolin sitting there, like, he has to be one of the most innocent characters in the show. Of course, we don't know that for sure. He could be evil, but as of right now, he's the most innocent character in the show, and he was about to get his bending taken away. I'm like, why? What did he do? So it just, there needs to be some kind of sentiment that can bring forth a level line for both the benders and the non-benders without it leading to war. But unfortunately, it looks like it's going to lead to that already, and like I said, it's not going to be equal because there's going to be benders that are now non-benders that want revenge. They're going to be on the front line, and now they're going to be outpowered by a robot that Hiroshi Sato built. And it's just, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm making this extremely serious video. I should have did the other one, but I felt like I needed to get it out of my chest, and the idea just popped in my head. So the conclusion of the story is I am a bender. If I'm born with something, leave me alone. And more specifically, I am a water bender. So I just, again, I don't agree with Amon's methods. I don't think it's going to end well, and yeah, I guess you could kind of tell I was a bender since I talked more about the Equalist. But okay, now I'm going to end this video. I thought it was going to be short, but I can't make a short video to save my life. Thank you guys so much for watching. At this point, I just want to thank so many people for subscribing. It means the world to me. I'm so, like, for real with it. Like, thank you. I really do appreciate it. So I'm going to name some of the people, or I think I've got all the people that have subscribed to me since I started doing my core videos. The first one I wrote down is the Yumchunks. They actually have their own page. They do this thing called Corecast. The Yumchunks is spelled the way it sounds. I would check them out. I really enjoy their videos. I have Haha You're Funny 94, Bowman 95, awhyteja, filichink, playkonstantine, aaronisbuddha, leoofdreams, Dirty Buttercup 69. I'm sorry, I was supposed to say that without laughing. Political 92, and these last few people, Political 92, I've had some really good conversations with this person via messaging and, you know, replying to my comments. It was really fun time, like over the internet, of course. And then tjbasaart left one of the nicest comments I've ever gotten on a video. It brought some water to my eyes. It almost trickled down, a little tear bending. And then the last one is going to be, I think it's pronounced Zeta or Zeta 925. He actually made a video and quoted me in it and put me in it, and my head got really big, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I have friends that don't live in the same state as me, or they could live in the same state, but okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna sign up for coronation, and yeah, thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you so much for watching this serious video. The next video I make, if we don't get a new episode, won't be as serious as this one. So peace out, YouTube, and hopefully we get a new episode next week. Last thing, I did recycle all that paper that I used. I didn't want nobody to think that I was ruining the environment by cutting down trees. I did recycle. Thank you for watching.